All right, Mike, are we all set to go?
We are.
All right. With that, I will call the April 20th Internal Services Committee meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next item is the adoption of the agenda. I'll take a motion to adopt.
Moved.
Yourself.
So moved.
From Commissioner Duche,
Supported by Drollet.
supported by Commissioner Gillette. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please vote.
Mike, I vote yes.
All right, then that motion passes 10-0. Here's Kraft.
Thank you, Mike. Next up, public participation. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. Give us your name and address. If anybody on the phone chimes in, we'll get you first, and then we will look at the chat for anybody that's on the Google Hangout. Anybody for public participation? And I think *6 is the key to unmute yourself. Public participation going twice. Public participation for a third time. There is also a public participation at the end of the meeting if you by chance miss this one. All right, hearing and seeing none, we will close the first public participation and move on to item 5, department recommendations. 5A, support agreement, Metro Controls, Inc., 3-year web control support agreement in the amount of $127,425.
Yourself.
Motion to approve, Ducey.
Motion by Duge.
Support by Haw.
Support from Commissioner Haw. All right, is Lynn on the line?
I certainly hope so.
Perfect, you're good. Take it away.
Okay, at the February 10th, 2020 Internal Services meeting, the committee authorized issuing a purchase order to Metro Controls for a 1-year service agreement for the building management control system. During that February meeting, I indicated that Metro Controls held their price from the prior year. A question was then raised asking if we could possibly obtain a discount if we entered into, for instance, a 3-year agreement. I indicated I would look into that. After discussions with Metro Controls, they indicated that they would offer a discount of $1,250 for each year of the 3-year agreement. I am therefore requesting authorization to amend the purchase order to Metro Controls from a 1-year agreement to a 3-year agreement at a reduced annual cost of $42,475.
That's great. Nice work, Lynn.
Thank you.
Any questions? I don't see any on Civic Clerk. All right, hearing no questions or comments, please vote.
And I can see that we're now registering all votes for commissioners, so that passes 10-0.
Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Chair, I'd move B and C as one item. This is Commissioner Drollet.
You unmuted yourself.
Support, Ducey.
All right, we have a motion and support for items B and C. B, proposal, D. Clemente Siegel Design, Inc., design of Phase 3 site electrical upgrades for Martha T. Berry and Jail in the amount of $94,500. And C is the budget amendment from the capital improvement plan for that project. Lynn, go ahead.
We are requesting a budget amendment in the amount of $94,500 to proceed with electrical design services to be provided by DSD for the underground electrical project. This project was identified in the capital plan. DSD in the past provided electrical design services for Phase 1 and Phase 2, and they have a thorough understanding and knowledge of our underground electrical infrastructure. This design is required in order to proceed with the construction phase. This phase is the underground electrical link, essentially to Martha Tilbury. There are 5 kV feeders between the powerhouse switchgear and Martha Tilbury, and there's also one 5 kV feeder between the powerhouse and the laundry portion of the facility. This design would include a new manhole and duct bank system and provide 15 kV cables. DSD will also eliminate 2 old transformers. The distribution panels fed from these old transformers are carrying minimal loads. The load would be refed through the existing distribution system. DSD, their fee is based on a percentage of construction cost. So we are therefore requesting a budget amendment in the amount of $94,500.
Thank you, Lynn. Any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Duje.
Unmuted yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Lynn, question: is this going to be routed anywhere near the health department building? Because that's supposed to be coming down in the next few years.
No, there shouldn't be a problem with that. They're
Okay,
aware of that.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Lynn. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Duje. I don't see any other speakers. So with that, please vote on items B and C.
Okay, now hit star 6. You hit star 6 and I'll vote for you.
That motion passes 10-0.
Thank you, Mike. Next is item 5D, budget amendment, capital improvement fund, jail door replacement project in the amount of $68,750.
Chairman, I'll make the motion. We do D and E together. Paul?
All right.
Support. Carabelli.
Support from Carabelli. All right, we have a motion and support to do items D and E together. E is the contract Wakely Associates, Inc. for a jail door replacement project for the same amount, $68,750. Lynn, go ahead.
We are requesting this budget amendment in the amount of $68,750 for architectural engineering design services to be provided by Wakely Associates. And this is for the replacement of certain doors and frames within the jail facility. Wakely has done extensive design work at the jail and has a considerable knowledge of the jail facility and the doors. The doors are deteriorating to a point that it is becoming difficult to keep them operational. The Sheriff's Department, along with our office, feels very strongly about the replacement as it poses a safety and security risk if we're unable to operate the doors. And this would be the safety and security risk not only for jail staff, but for inmates. So we are requesting this design service in order to proceed with the construction phase.
Thank you, Lynn. Let me check and see if there are any questions or comments from commissioners. All right, I'm not seeing any. So with that, we have a motion and support for
Doggy votes yes.
D&E. Please vote.
Oh. Now you're on, Marv. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Marv.
I'll get it, Jet.
Okay, that motion passes 10-0.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye.
Next is item 5F, Agreements, Information Technology Maintenance Agreements for second quarter 2020 package 5 in the amount of $168,096.27. Take a motion to approve or move the full board.
Lucida will support.
I heard support. Was there a motion? to approve that?
Oh, I'll make that motion, Lucido.
Perfect.
Carabelli will support it.
And support from Carabelli. All
Move
right,
it to that resolution and report it down.
Jaco, take it away.
You're on.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is, again, one of the maintenance items that we bring to you. There's two items up today. The one is for our Oracle licensing, which is what we use for the offender track system at the County Sheriff's Department. And then the other one is our CBI managed firewall maintenance item. This is a company that we procured or secured last year through an RFQ that we did, and identified a new security partner and working with them now. So the total cost of that is $168,096 and 96 and 27 cents. The second item is 57,820, in case you don't see that. The first one, obviously, that's listed there at 110,276 and 27 cents.
Thank you, Jaco. Let me check and see if there's any speakers. All right, I'm not seeing any, so we have a motion and support. Commissioners, please vote.
That motion passes 10-0.
Thank you, Mike. Next is item 5G, purchase information technology 2020 capital outlay. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Harold, support from Commissioner Kleinfeld. Go ahead, Jaco.
Commissioners, as you can remember, last year we formed a small committee which was led by Commissioner Kraft to vet this budget and how it should be presented to the board. It was agreed that the best way to do this would be to provide unit pricing on the different items that's being anticipated or being purchased via this budget. What I've done is pretty much taken the one that I presented last year, and I've updated the quotes in it and presenting it the same way as I did last year. We're asking for an approval of these anticipated purchases. There is a total of 13 line items listed, and it adds up to 1.730200. So 1.7 million. I do have a few quotes that we could not update, and it was mainly because of the COVID-19 situation. It was very difficult to communicate with vendors in the first part of this, and so but it's minimal, and I can assure you that the quotes that I have in there from last year, I think there was about 3 or so of them. Those quotes are pretty much the same or very close to that.
Thank you, Jaco. Question from Commissioner Ha.
Thank you, Chair. Jaco, in light of the current economic situation, and I think I know the answer to this already, is there anything on this list we can delay, in your opinion?
Commissioner, as you can understand, this is an ongoing thing for us, moving forward. I can assure you I've already started discussions in my own department and are looking at ways that we can save money as far as COVID-19, because of the COVID-19 situation. There's many avenues moving forward that we are going to look at. One of them, for example, is renegotiation of maintenance contracts, things like that. It's not applicable in all situations because many of the maintenance contracts we have are still being supported at full speed or full pace. There's no difference whether the situation is in place or not. But there are, in some cases, situations where things are being delayed, things are different from what it used to be before. So at this point in time, we're compiling a list of how we should approach this. That's the best answer I can give you at this point in time. And those things, some of those things will be applicable to items in this budget as well.
Thank you, and thank you for taking that into consideration. That's all, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you, Jaco, for doing this again. I know we worked on this last year. I appreciate you continuing to do it. Having it all laid out like this makes it incredibly easy for us. Are there any other questions from commissioners? I saw Commissioner Myjack pop up for a second, but then he disappeared, so I didn't know if he wanted to speak or not. All right, seeing and hearing no other questions, please vote.
That motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaco. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Commissioner. Stay safe.
You too. All right, next up is item 6, resolution 20-4716, requesting full public report of the forensic audit of prosecuting attorneys' forfeiture funds. I'll take
so moved, Drollet.
Motion from Commissioner Drollet to move to full board. Is there support?
Support, Kleinfeld.
Support from Commissioner Kleinfeld. Commissioner Drollet, did you want to speak to this item first?
Yeah, just by way of explanation.
Sure.
This resolution directs the auditing firm that conducted the forensic audit that when they are cleared to provide that audit to us, the customer, by law enforcement, that it provides how they will provide that audit to us. And it states it'll be done in a public meeting with the public and media available to receive the report. Just to clarify that the board is not interested in receiving a report privately or in secrecy or anything along those lines. Rather, we would like the report made in a public forum as transparently as possible. And just essentially clarifying to the audit firm, our intent is to receive the report publicly to ensure as much transparency in the process as possible. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. We've got a few on the list. We'll start with Commissioner Myjack.
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
All right, great. Okay, thanks, Chairman. So first thing, do we have a motion on the floor for this resolution or not?
Yes, we do. Motion from Commissioner Drollet and supported by Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Okay. Leon, very good with this resolution. I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of what we need to get done, transparency and openness with this. So basically, when they're finished with this, that accounting firm, Yo and Yo, they will come to us in our public body and not only give us the information, but present to us their findings. Is that what you're talking about also, Leon?
Yes, they would present the findings of the audit in the forum that is a public forum.
Very good. Okay. And so their audit, because that was back March 20th, so that would have been past a year ago. Do we know, are they completed with this audit? Does anybody know that?
I think Commissioner Kleinfeld might have some updated information on that.
Yep, she's waving her hand around.
Okay, well, I guess I'll cease speaking. And I mean, this audit was supposed to just take a couple months. You know what I mean? From what I heard, 60 to 90 days. And we're here, past a year. So it seems like when you talk about openness and transparency, that if they finished this so many months ago, we should have already received a full report in public pertaining to this. But never late than never, So I support this. Very good job on this, Leon. And then Veronica, I'll yield the floor. I'm done speaking and hope you can talk about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kleinfeld is up next on the speakers list. MAC Chair, Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Okay. You can hear me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So just by way of background, Commissioner Carabelli would verify, from day one when we set out to do this audit, my intent was that everybody receive it at the same time, that when we got it, we get it at a public forum, that it not be put in the system ahead of time so that it went out to people and people would start talking to the media before board members even had a chance to get a report on it or to review it. So that's been our intent from day one. When Attorney General Nessel announced the charges, she did not reference in any way, shape, or form that the audit and the work that the auditors were performing that she used was commissioned by the board. The only reference made in that video by about the board kind of felt political in nature to me. And so this is, and I did have a discussion with Leon about this. This is just a reaffirmation of our intention that everybody hear it at the same time, and that we support that we don't get it before the Michigan State Police are done with it. The other thing that has changed is with recently, throughout this process, it was my understanding that the work product would go to the Michigan State Police for their investigation, but that the final report belonged to the Board of Commissioners, and that I know, and that they would be giving us the report. That changed recently. Recently, I got an email indicating that it would not be going to us, the entity that commissioned it and paid for it, that it would be going to the Michigan State Police and the Attorney General. And if the reason for the final report going to them instead of us is because they need it for investigative purposes, I'm fine with that. What I'm hoping is that it not be used for political purposes in any way, shape, or form, and I'm not suggesting anybody would. But I did think it was important that we reaffirm as a board. There was also an article in the Macomb Daily that was an indication that we might try to not give it out to everybody at the same time. So this is a reaffirmation that we intend to give it out to everybody at the exact same time, and that we support that it stays with the Michigan State Police until they give the okay that it goes to us. But it is our hope that when it goes public at a public meeting with the public present and the media present and anybody else that would like to be present. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next on the list is Chair Smith.
Hi, Chair. Thank you very much. I just wanted to let everybody know that as I've done throughout this, I plan on abstaining from any votes that have to do with this topic, although I do tend to agree with what has just been said by Commissioner Kleinfeld, that we want this to be shared and be public and non-political. So I just want to let everybody know that I will be abstaining, as I have since the beginning on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next on the list is Commissioner Dubé.
Unmuted yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of things. First of all, this is in the hands of the Michigan State Police at this point in time. From there, I believe it's going to go to Attorney General Nessel. If anybody has a different idea on that, I'd like to hear it. I think that with everybody involved, this is going to go public no matter what, if we have a resolution or not. I don't see this as being given to anybody in particular in bits and pieces. But the resolution seems a little early as far as doing this before everything is done. Now, that being said, how much did we allocated $100,000 for Yo and Yo to begin with? did they use all 100,000? Did they go over budget, under budget? Does anybody know?
Commissioner Kleinfeld is nodding her head in all directions. I'm going to let her jump in this real quick.
Thank you. When we received the last bill, it would have gone over if they didn't use. I hear an echo. Sorry. If they didn't use the amount we gave them up front. I had a conversation with them. They were going to use the retainer, therefore they were not going to go over. But I think they were going to come pretty close to, if not right at the mark.
All right, that was a majority of my question. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's going to be done publicly no matter what. I would rather, and I would want to see this presented publicly, and I think everybody involved wants to see it presented publicly. So the resolution being what it is fine and dandy, but I think we're putting the cart before the horse at this point in time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Dujay. Next on the list is Commissioner Sauger. Commissioner Sauger. All right, I'm going to jump ahead to Commissioner Drillette, and we'll go back to Commissioner Sauger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Dujay stated that correctly, that, it's our understanding that the audit obviously will go to the state police, and based on what Commissioner Kleinfeld said, go to the Attorney General, potentially following that. But I see that Commissioner Kleinfeld put on her name to speak very shortly, because there is some indication from the auditing firm that they plan to be wrapped up with the audit by the end of this month, based on an email exchange that Commissioner Kleinfeld had. So, again, the resolution is simply to say, once law enforcement is done with it and it can be released, it's our intent to make this as public as possible right from the beginning, and as transparent as possible right from the very beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sauger's on the line.
Yeah, you got me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, because this is an ongoing investigation, as you know, it's an ongoing, it's going to come to an end sooner or later. We shouldn't even be involved with this right now. We're going to have all the facts done when it's done, and then we can make the public whatever we feel necessary. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sauger. Next is Commissioner Kleinfeld on second round.
Thank you, Chair. I want to clarify something. Two things. Number one, we're not asking that we get it now, that we get it before we should get it, or that we'll get it before the Michigan State Police or the Attorney General want us to get it. What I am hoping, though, is because the board ordered it, we hired the auditors, and we paid for it. It is my hope that it not go public and to the media without our knowledge before we get it, and we start getting phone calls from the media. I feel like that would be inappropriate. If this is done properly and we all get it at the same time at a public forum, then that won't happen. So it's my hope, since our auditors are supplying it to others, that we not be blindsided by our own audit. I think everybody, including us, should get it at the same time. I most certainly don't think that the media should get it before we have knowledge that it's going to be made public. And I want to clarify what Commissioner Drillette said. The end of this month, and I don't remember if that was April or March, that was to get to the Michigan State Police and to the Attorney General, not to us. And we are in no way, shape, or form in this resolution asking to receive it at any time prior to them wanting us to receive it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Leonetti is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, look, folks, we're the ones who appropriated the money for this audit. We're the ones that even picked the firm. If you remember, we had a dispute about which firm to pick. So we picked Yo and Yo. They worked for us. It was only until a criminal investigation was opened up that they were essentially commandeered by the state police from us. Now, I don't know about you, but we signed a contract with Yo and Yo. We paid the money, basically, from the treasury for it. This should be released to everybody at the same time. The board, the executive, the media, the public. There's no reason why there shouldn't be any support for this resolution, because that's all this resolution says is everybody gets it at the same time. We don't get it before anybody else. Somebody else doesn't get it before us. It is released to everybody at the same time. I think that's the only way to do it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next is Commissioner Hoff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think Rob and Veronica made some very good points. The reality here is the Michigan State Police and the Attorney General's office aren't going to release anything until they feel thoroughly investigated the issues that have been given them. So all this resolution says is we hired the firm, we paid for the firm. We're asking in the spirit of transparency to not make it political and to provide it to the board and the public all simultaneously. So it's not anything that anybody is saying wasn't going to take place. It's saying we want the audit firm to understand we are the purchasers of the product and we feel this is their obligation to do it that way. So I agree with Rob. It's really establishing in a formal document to Yo and Yo what we would like them to do with a product that we paid for. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do this. We've already been told by the Attorney General many, many months ago, do not interfere with this. And we haven't. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, seeing no other questions or comments, we have a motion and support. Please vote.
Okay, Commissioner, that vote passes 10 to 0 to 1 with Commissioner Smith abstaining.
Thank you, Mike. Next is new business. Any commissioners with new business? I don't see anybody on my list. Nobody's waving or raising a hand, so we will close new business and move on to public participation. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. Give us your name and address. If you're on the phone, *6 will unmute you. I'll get you in order, or at least try to. Or if you're in the Google Hangout, go through the chat box. Anybody for public participation going twice?
You unmuted yourself.
Is someone there? All right. Public participation for the third time.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we will close public participation. We have a motion to adjourn from Commissioner Douche.
Do we have new business?
What was that?
Did we skip new business? I'm sorry, man. Did I miss that?
You missed new business. You have new business?
Just want to reiterate what Courtney sent out to read your emails about the volunteer recognition and the getting some videos to her if you can in the next couple days. So if you haven't seen her email, please jump on and read it. That was it. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, before we adjourn.
Yes.
I want to thank Bob for giving us the status and updates on Joe Romano. Hope that he continues to do that, and all our well wishes and blessings and prayers for him. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we did have a motion to adjourned from Commissioner Duge. Is there support?
Support, Drollet.
Support from Commissioner Drollet. Please vote.
You unmuted yourself.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, I would just like to have an update on our great friend Joe Romano, if anybody has one.
Chair will get back to you on that.
Phil, can you hear me or no?
Yes.
Okay. The update is as far as I've sent you guys. And as soon as I know something different, I'll let you know. But he seems in good spirits, so I will let you know as soon as I hear something.
All right.
Mr. Chair, passes 11-0 and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mike. We are adjourned. Good job, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay well and stay safe.
Good job to you, Chairman.
Take care.